Welcome back to Trailcraft. I'm Wyatt. What we're going to look at today are 5 reasons for left foot braking in side-by-side vehicles, from beginner to advanced. So each of these 5 tips are going to have applications whether you've never driven one of these before or you've had one for 10 years. You like driving off-road, you like high-performance driving, whatever it might be. These kind of translate. So if you're a beginner, it's great fundamental skills, really good application for left foot braking. And then as an advanced driver, you're going to get a lot of payoff from having this skill set, and you'll see the benefit almost immediately. So the very first application where you could and potentially should be left foot braking in a side-by-side vehicle is when you first get in, start the engine, and go to take off. The proper way to drive one of these things, put it in gear, left foot brake, give it slight acceleration, and you'll feel the driveline engage, that belt tightens up and everything's ready. Now release the brake and accelerate and drive away. The problem is if you don't do that and you just kind of slam on the gas pedal, it's kind of like being in an automatic car in neutral, putting it in drive and stomping on the gas at the same time. It's jerky, it's a little aggressive, and if you know that one person with the side-by-side who's always breaking belts and frying the belts and complaining about how their belts don't last, they're probably not driving it properly. So starting off with a side-by-side, left foot brake, add some throttle, feel that drive line engage, then release the brakes and go. And it's going to be much, much easier on equipment. It's not hard on the brakes, not hard on anything. It's much better for the vehicle, and it's going to love you for it. For an off-road application, that skill is invaluable, particularly for hill starts. You know, hold the vehicle with your left foot on the brake, give it some throttle to engage the drive line, then release the brake and accelerate away, and you'll be able to start on steeper inclines without rolling backwards or messing around or, again, frying the belt or anything like that. For a high performance application, that's absolutely invaluable. If you want to basically take off and launch this vehicle, that's exactly how you're going to do it. You know, a little bit of left foot brake, build up some throttle, feel that drive line engage, and when it's 3, 2, 1, go time, pop off the brake and give it more throttle. And that's how you launch a vehicle like this smoothly, quickly, and, you know, really nice on the drive line compared to the alternative. The second and really the most important application for left foot braking side-by-side vehicles is reaction time. You know, once, okay, you're up and moving, you've got the vehicle started and you're going along pretty good, there's all kinds of stuff out there that you don't want to hit. You know, you're on a trail, there's other vehicles, there's animals, there's rocks, whatever it might be. If you've got your left foot over the brake pedal and you need to do some emergency braking or something comes up, that reaction time is going to get the vehicle stopped much more quickly. In a technical off-road application, that's really nice. You know, hovering your left foot over the brake pedal, if you need to get to it at any point, it's right there. It's just convenient. You've got 2 pedals and 2 feet, basic economy of motion, just like you would in a go-kart or anything else. It just makes sense. It's easier once you get the hang of it, and being right there with it will get you through some technical spots really nice and smoothly. For a high performance application, that reaction time left foot braking, it's a world of difference. You know, just like, again, go-karts or rally cars or anything, there's a reason that basically all high performance drivers in the world are left foot braking, and it just makes too much sense in this. You know, you can brake later coming into corners. If something does happen, you've got that reaction time, and again, because you're on the brakes, you've also got that reaction time back to throttle. It's not just going from gas to brake, it's also going from brake back onto gas, where you're gonna see that payoff in reaction time. That ties right into the third application for left foot braking. In a side-by-side vehicle, you've got a much bigger suspension than you probably have in your street car or your truck or whatever you might be driving on the road. And that's a lot of weight that's moving around. There's a lot of body roll, you know, kind of fore and aft and that sort of thing. And left foot braking cures a lot of those troubles. You can get around a lot more smoothly if you're using your left foot on the brake, and then, you know, maybe you come out of a corner, you can ease from the brake to the throttle and transfer and transition that roly-poly weight of the vehicle much more smoothly. That's going to result in nice smooth suspension movements, which is going to affect your handling. It's going to be less likely to roll over. It's just going to be a wonderful thing compared to bumping around with your right foot doing both and your left foot on the dead pedal because you didn't know how to drive. For an off-road application, you know, low speed, kind of rock crawling, that weight transfer is absolutely crucial. The rougher terrain you're driving over, the more important it is to be shifting that weight smoothly and being able to keep that vehicle sort of settled over bumps and things like that, going in and out of dips and valleys and banked corners and whatever you're doing out there. Being able to move that weight smoothly means you're going to be less beat to hell at the end of the day. You know, your passengers and everybody else are going to be much happier with you. The vehicle is going to be happier. It's better on the suspension, and all of the links and everything else is going to be moving more smoothly. Your vehicle is going to last longer. It's just better. For a high performance application, transferring that weight smoothly from throttle to brake and vice versa is again absolutely critical. You know, if you're doing a little bit of racing or performance driving or just kind of hauling the mail with one of these vehicles, you've got to move that weight smoothly or you're going to tip it over. And left foot braking unlocks the key to a lot of that. Again, just come fast into a corner, straight line brake, transition as you're turning in, you're coming off of brake pressure, adding steering, and then as you see your apex, you're building up that throttle on the way out. And the smoother you can do those transitions, the smoother the vehicle is going to respond, and your tires are going to be working on the ground a lot better, and the suspension is going to be working, and it's just faster. Fourth application for left foot braking, side-by-side vehicles, is controlling steep descents. As you're driving a side-by-side, you're gonna see you get out on the trails, whatever you might be doing, you're probably gonna be getting off of kind of that flat ground and doing some hill climbs, and what goes up must come down. The problem with, again, the drive line in side-by-side vehicles is only engaged when you're on throttle, just like, you know, a jet ski or something like that. If you're off the gas, it's just freewheeling, and on a steeper descent, that means you're just gonna go down the hill like a shopping cart and get all kinds of speed up. Some vehicles are better than others about kind of trying to do that automatically for you. They kind of get the belt to engage, and this one's actually pretty good at it. So a really easy way to control a descent with a side-by-side is just to keep a little bit of gas on. That's going to keep that drive line engaged, and then left foot brake as you're going down the hill, and you'll get engine braking from a belt-driven kind of CVT transmission like this. Low-speed technical off-road application for that, again, is massive. If you've got to go down a steep hill somewhere, especially if you're in low-range four-wheel drive, you can go putting nicely down a hill instead of just, again, freewheeling down and going for a toboggan ride to hell. High performance applications, certainly any descent, if you're moving along, it works whether you're going 2 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour. You know, if you see a downhill coming up, especially if it's slippery, keep a little bit of that gas on and squeeze some brake going down that hill, and you'll get that engine braking and you'll keep that drive line engaged on a descent, especially if there's a corner or something at the bottom. You need to scrub speed going down a hill and keep it under control. That's the way to do it. On throttle with some left foot braking down the descents. The fifth and final application for left foot braking, at least for this video, there are many more, is just rear wheel drive fun. When you're in two-wheel drive, the rear wheels are driven. Basically think of it as your right foot on the gas is controlling your rear wheel speed, and your left foot on the brake is controlling your front wheel speed. So you can get all kinds of nice tricks to happen in a more performance kind of drifting sense and that kind of stuff if you're really sliding around. But even as a novice, beginner, first time in a side-by-side, if you do start horsing around a little and playing around and you want to, you know, drift a corner or do a donut or something like that, get that left foot over the brake pedal, because you can control your front wheel speed while you're controlling your rear wheel speed. You can keep the fronts kind of slowing down while you get the rears to spin. And what that means is you can do burnouts and, you know, more controlled donuts in a tighter area or something like that. In an off-road sense, it really works well on tight corners. You know, if you're on a tight trail somewhere, a lot of these don't have, you know, a very good turning radius. So a nice way to get around is to kick the back end around and kind of to finish a turn off and get through some tight sections and things like that in two-wheel drive. Keeping your left foot on the brake while you give it that burst of throttle to kick the rear end around will kick you around those corners. You'll get the same oversteer you're looking for without accelerating much. Keeping that left foot with a little bit of brake pressure is going to dial it in really nice and make it much safer for you out there in the woods. High performance driving applications are plentiful. You know, if you are driving this thing at speed, left foot braking, on the throttle, two-wheel drive, that's how you're going to initiate drifts and control drifts and hold drifts and tighten drifts while you're in the middle of the slide. It's going to, again, open up Pandora's box of fun for you in a side-by-side vehicle like this. Can you do it with just one foot? Sure, but it's gonna be bouncy and you're gonna miss out on a lot of those finer points. So it's really nice, you know, as a beginner or a novice driver or an intermediate driver, if you haven't been left foot braking, give some of this stuff a try and get, you know, that solid foundational skill, you know, keeping your heel down, using your ankle, feeling the brake pedal, get smooth with it. It'll take a minute, but once you do it, it's really very easy. And again, it's a huge advantage over just trying to monkey around with one foot. It's also a whole lot easier on the vehicle. You know, a lot of people say left foot braking is hard on vehicles and that kind of thing. Sure, if you do it wrong, but again, if you kind of follow the tips in this video, and again, there are many more, it's much easier on the driveline. You won't be braking and kind of frying those drive belts. The vehicle's gonna last longer. It'll get you further, and when you get there, you'll still be kind of fresh and in one piece because you haven't been bounced around to hell and back. So thank you as always for watching. If you're interested in doing some off-road driving, some more video tips, whatever you might be into, check out the channel and consider subscribing. If you want to do a course, come out here and drive. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Check out trailcraft.teamoneil.com or shoot us an email, trailcraft@teamoneil.com. You can give us an old-fashioned phone call, 603-444-4488, or just stop by and visit us sometime up here at the Team O'Neil Rally School. If you've got any questions or comments, please add them in the comment section. We'll get to those just as quick as we can. Until then, have fun, be safe, and we'll catch you next time.